Nerazzurri fans from all over the world, welcome to the Interglobe, a globe in which numbers meet. They do meet. Inter-Lecce 2-0. Good game, and for once, things, as I title, went as planned. Why? Because we approached the game with the right attitude, and this is a plus on Inzaghi's report, and we were able to basically never suffer any dangerous opportunity for Lecce. So very good in defense and confident attacking. Although the game started and we immediately dominated it, even in terms of percentage of ball possession, but it was really tough to overcome the first part of the play, in which we had to build from defense, because with their 4-3-3, their three-man forward were marking man on man our three defenders, and so it was very tough to pass this line. But once we passed it, we easily got to the penalty area, and the only mistake we made was that we lacked precision and we didn't score sooner and more, because the first half should have finished probably on a 2-0 at least. Instead, it was only 1-0. And how did we score this goal? It was with a great play started by Gosens, who gives the ball in the middle to Barella, who gives a great assist to Mkhitaryan, who with his right foot shoots impeccably in the top left corner of the goal, and that's a great one, and that's a 1-0. As I say, we go to the locker room a bit underwhelmed because of the amount of occasions we created and the only goal we scored. But we came back. Inzaghi here was good because he kept the tension high and he prompted the team to put the game to sleep, and they came back. And right away, after just a few minutes, Lauti scores a great goal on a cross from Dumfries from the right. The first cross that Dumfries basically didn't give to our opponents, but he managed to give it to a teammate, and Lauti scored. And then we never really suffered any dangerous situation, even in the second half. So it was a game that we could call easy in a way, although we have been penalized once again with a clear penalty that was not given. And this is, as you know, because I mention it in every video, is like the 6th or 7th time in the last 8 or 9 games in which they don't give us a penalty. In this case, it was a penalty on Gosens, and honestly, I don't understand how VAR doesn't actually call the ref and review this play, because it was a clear penalty. Anyway, let's go to the players. Tiramolla Onana without a grade. No grade, because he basically didn't touch the ball. He was always there in the goal, drinking a coffee, playing cards with the little kids who get the ball when it gets out of bounds. So no grade for Onana. Great Tiramolla didn't have to make his gloves dirty yesterday. Then we have Darmian, 6.5, pretty good in defending. Only one time in the second half he was basically overtaken by the opponent, and it was a fairly preoccupying action and play on the left for Lecce forward, so it wasn't easy there, and he created this problem by not defending properly. But in the rest of the game he was very good, so it's a 6.5 for Darmian. Bastoni, 6.5 as well. I was expecting much more of him forward. In the second half he did step up and he did make a couple of crosses and a couple of plays forward, but in the first half it wasn't enough. All in all, good game, 6.5. He even had a nice shot actually, so 6.5 for Bastoni. And to complete the defense, we have Acerbi, 6.5 as well. Very good as usual. I feel through the screen his personality, because of the way he moves, the way he looks at the opponents and the teammates, the way he talks to the teammates. Really constructive all the time. You never see him fighting with his teammates, rarely with the referee. So 6.5, very good. And I would like to underline that with yesterday we have had 8 home games with a clean sheet. We are the first team in Serie A in terms of this piece of statistics, and I'm proud of it because defense is the building block to win. And so I have to recognize that Onana, of course, and Acerbi have been a pivotal part of this record. Well done. Then we go to A-Train Dumfries. The first half was appalling, to say the least. I don't know how many times I cursed the guy. He was pathetic in losing the ball when we were counter-attacking and Dzeko was alone in the middle and he didn't pass the ball to him. He was absurd in another counter-attack when he didn't give the ball to Lauti. He was free, alone in the center of the penalty area, and he managed not to give the ball. And the worst thing he did in the first half was a give and go in which basically he thought that the ball would go out of bounds and he didn't run after it, he didn't believe in it. Instead, because of the effect of the ball stayed inbound and he lost it. So the first half, I was thinking, honestly, it would have been a 4. But in the second half, he grew a bit, and despite the boos from the supporters, I could understand the boos. Honestly, I was booing him at home, although I know that is not something that does good to him because, he started becoming very anxious, a lot of pressure, and making even more mistakes. So he was able to cross the ball for Lauti for the second goal, and Lauti indicated him after the goal just to celebrate his play. And I think Lauti did something great in this occasion, and because of this play in the second half, he's not a 4, but he's a 5.5 for Dumfries. But still, A-Train, you're not the man you used to be. Barella 6.5, the great assist for Mkhitaryan, so very thoughtful and less nervous than usual. But I'm used to certain standards with Barella, so I can't give him a 7 for yesterday's game. It's just a 6.5 because he can do much better, I know that. Sultan of Swing Çalhanoğlu is a 7. Great shot in the beginning, very intelligent tactically in coming back to the defensive phase and taking the ball and getting his teammates out of difficulty in building the plays because of the 3 forward players of Lecce that were marking man on man. So this was a key strategic move, of course, originated by Inzaghi, but applied and brought to life by the Sultan of Swing Çalha. So really 7 in defense, incredible recuperation of the ball, even a sombrero on the opponent. I mean, elegance and effectiveness and impact as usual. Great Çalha. It's a 7. Mkhitaryan 7+. I really admired him yesterday. Again, he's playing all the games recently and is not a young lad anymore, so this goes to his merit. He gained a very important foul just outside of the penalty area in the, let's say, the spot that's perfect for Çalha, although he didn't score. And of course, he scored a majestic goal with a great technique and sense of position. So this is really a splendid play. And because of this, all in all, he gets a 7+. Gosens 7-. Why? Because yes, he's as usual very driven. He's participating in all the plays, and we play much more on the left than we used to when Gosens was playing. So this also is something that goes to Gosens' merit. He participated in the play of the first goal by giving the ball to Barella, who then gave it to Mkhitaryan, who scored. And towards the end of the game, he even made a great dribbling. We all know that Inter is not the best team in Italy in terms of dribbling. Actually, it's the worst. But I can still remember a vision. I have the vision in my eyes of this play that he made when he dribbled on the left and he went to cross the ball. So good game all in all, 7-. Minus because he never gives an assist or never scores lately. So when he will do that, we will grow with the grades. Dzeko 5.5. He's terribly tired, you can see that. He made a great header, but wasn't lucky. He had also a nice shot in the second half when Lauti, with the ball from the sideline, gave the ball to him as an assist with his hands, and Dzeko shot. He was very prompt in reacting in this play. So yeah, a couple of sparks, but all in all, not enough. 5.5. Lauti 7.5. He was kicked like crazy in the first minutes of the game. He had first a Lecce player kick him in almost the ass, and it was very painful. But what was even more painful was 5 minutes later he got hit in his calf, in his right calf, and that was a really bad shot he got, bad kick. In fact, he stayed on the ground for minutes. So I was actually scared that something bad could have happened to him. So despite all these violent behaviors from Lecce's players that jeopardized his physical state, he managed to give the ball to his teammates and hold the ball and help the team raise the line of attack many times and very well. He also obviously scored a great goal in the beginning of the second half with that right shot on Dumfries' pass, and he made this great assist to Dzeko from the sideline. And all in all, he played with a spirit that's the spirit that we want to see in every Inter player. So 7.5 for this man who is only 5 goals away from Osimhen, who's doing, as we know, something out of this world. And way to go for Lauti. Lukaku, I would say, coming to the substitutions, 6. Also gave a couple of nice balls with his head to his teammates, but didn't do much. But he also played 25 minutes, so I would give him a 6. Encouragement. And for Tubeman Brozovic, also 6. He recuperated 1 or 2 nice balls, just as much as Gagliardini did. He recuperated a couple of balls, so it's a 6 for Gagliardini as well. And then D'Ambrosio and Zanotti can't give a grade because they really played just a few minutes. Inzaghi 7.5. Why not 8? First of all, because he's playing against Lecce, which honestly demonstrated to be a very, very let's say low quality team. Let's be honest, low quality team, despite the fact that they played with big teams and made them suffer, from Juventus to Milan, but Inter as well in the first game of the season. Remember, we won 2-1 in the last moment, but yesterday they were really horrible. So that's why the grade is 7.5 for Inzaghi, because he did everything right. I agree with what he did in the starting lineup. It was a great idea. It turned out to be a great idea to have Mkhitaryan instead of Brozovic. Everybody was thinking that Brozovic would play. Instead, it was Mkhitaryan. It was Inzaghi's choice, and he proved to be perfect. The only thing that I question is why putting on the pitch Gagliardini instead of Aslani. We know that Gagliardini will leave Inter at the end of the season, so what's the point there? We need to see Aslani play more minutes if we want to bet on this player and to make him grow. So this is the only note the only criticism for Inzaghi. But all in all, honestly, it's a 7.5, and it's a well-deserved 7.5. That's all for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, punch the like button, subscribe, and leave a comment. I would love to make these videos better, so I need your help. And for today, that's all. As always, Forza Magica Inter. Ciao.